All right, guys, today we're going to talk about post-close conditions. So post-close starts when the closing package is uploaded into the portal for our correspondent loans. Once this closing package is uploaded into the portal, this protects your lock. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, if your lock is expiring the same day as closing, it is your job as a loan officer to check in with the processing department to make sure that it gets uploaded in to protect your lock, because oftentimes processing is waiting on escrow to get it scanned and signed back over to us. So that is something ultimately, as a loan officer, it falls on them.
Yeah, and definitely if you guys, if we're coming down to that last day, feel free to reach out to me. I'm totally okay with you guys, asking, as soon as we do upload, we will get an email. That email will go directly out to you guys. So that is our confirmation. If you ever want to double, triple check yourself, you can also see in on your file, UWM, it'll show you that the closing package has been received. That is also a part of an indicator that you have your lock secured.
So what happens from here now is basically the closing package gets reviewed. Then you're going to see your status move to something called problem post-close, and it will be in red. That means we have a few conditions to fulfill until it can get purchased off our bank line. But what happens on the back end is once the closing happens, escrow and title, they send out the closing package to UWM via FedEx. They also FedEx the original note to our lender in Texas, who are bank in Texas, Independent Financial. And then once it gets over there, Independent Financial has to endorse it, create a Bailey letter, and send that original note via FedEx back over to UWM. So it's a 2 or 3 day process on the back end of things. Now there's only two conditions that we need in problem post-close as far as on this process. So typically ULIS and the processing department, they're working the other post-close conditions. So we're just waiting on that original note and what's called a Bailey letter to get sent over to UWM. UWM checked in to their Pontiac office, and then once it's finally reviewed, that's when it can get purchased off our bank line. This process can take 2, 3, 4 days. And there's times where there's winter storms, FedEx delays, where that can happen. As we know, loan officer is responsible for paying the daily interest on the loan. So we want to get these things purchased as soon as possible. But remember, for us not to disclose tens of 5, 10, thousands on the back end, paying that daily interest is just the cost of doing business on it. You list anything to mention on the post-close conditions?
Like I said, I mean, there'll always be a couple usually when we just first, get everything in, get it back from UWM. We're generally quick to get back with escrow within about 1 business day to try and ask them, there might be a few things that were missed in signatures. Processing will generally take care of all of that for you guys. It's a lot of stuff that kind of goes behind the scenes that maybe you don't see a lot. But if you do go on there and you see multiple conditions, don't be too concerned, but do feel free to reach out. We'll let you know that we've already reached out to escrow and escrow is working on it, or something that we might be working on internally. And then, like I said, ultimately our goal is to get down to those last two, the note and the Bailey. Once those come in, then those get cleared, you get bought off. You'll see it post-close, it'll change from red to just basically clear, and that's about the same time frame you should be able to expect your check that day or the next day.
Yeah, 100%. So you'll see your status go from problem post-close, which is in red, to post-close. That means it's been purchased off. Once UWM purchases it off our bank line, it's about a 24-hour period for our bank to wire us the money, then we disperse. But oftentimes we're dispersing, even before we receive the wire, because we want to get, you guys paid as soon as possible. So that's how the process works on the back end with post-close conditions. Thank you, Ulyss.
Awesome.